I'm not sure who needs to hear this message, but God has got this for somebody. Guys, the Lord brought me something interesting this morning. Or the other day, I should say. And so here's what we got. You know when there's a V in the road, a split? Like you're going down the road and then there's a split. You can go two ways, right? Now, when you just say one person goes one way, and one person goes the other way. Just travel 100 feet down each way. 100 feet. Not very much. Both people, they could probably still see each other. You know, you're still in hollering distance, right? You can yell and hear them, right? You're on two completely different paths, but you're so close by, right? Okay, go another 100 feet. Probably about the same thing, right? And it continues that way for a while, till all of a sudden, you keep following each path. You know, go 10 miles down this one, 10 miles down that one, 40 miles down this one, 40 miles down that one. And man, you're going to be real far apart. See, this is what it's like when following the Lord. Let me explain. So you got a new believer, right? And then someone who does not believe they're not about the Lord or anything like that. On day one, it can seem like they're doing on the same path, right? They may be doing similar things, still doing the same sins and all that stuff. And so I think it gets real frustrating for believers, early on believers. They're like, man, I've been going for like 3 days now, and it's like I'm on the same path as the other dude. But you know what happens? It's just like that V in the road. You split off. The one chooses the straight gate and the broad way that leads to destruction. But the other one has chose the straight gate and the narrow way that leads to life through Jesus. So when they first both start, it's like that V. It seems like they're going the same way. But as you go farther and farther down that path, what happens? They become farther and farther apart. You start out, when you start at the starting point, right, they're pretty much the exact same place. But by the end, the destination is as drastic as heaven and hell. Because that's what it is, right? We got the gate that leads to destruction, the gate that leads to life. But it's going down that path. These can seem interesting, right? I want to remind you guys of a line that my boy DeMarcus be saying, and I love this. We can have that in our mind, the policy of one day or day one policy, right? Now remember, because the Lord brought this to me, and I was kind of thinking in my mind, well, you know, I like this, but because it sounds cool, but they're basically the same thing, right? Man, was I wrong? Man, was I wrong? Day one and one day, they're as different as heaven and hell. You just wouldn't know it, right? So you look at day 40 and one day, and it's like, oh man, that's way different, right? Well, you got to have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 to get to day 40. So I want to encourage those out there today. Maybe you saying, I'll be living my life just one day. I'll be living just one day, one day, one day. Well, I encourage you, let's live day 1. Day 1 may look like sin. Day 1 may look the same as one day. But you keep going down that path, and you're going to be going farther and farther and farther away from the wicked path, the path to destruction. So today, you're at a V in the road. Which way you gonna go? You gonna go the way, as it says in Matthew 7, the straight gate and the broad way that leads to destruction? Or you gonna go in the straight gate and the narrow way that leads to life? Y'all, there's two paths here. There's 2 destinations. There's 2 ways. And Jesus is the way you want to go, because Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Choose the narrow way. Choose the way of Christ to get to that destination of life. And never forget that He loves you. I love you all so much. If you made it to the end of this video, I want you to comment the words, I'm choosing Jesus' way. I'm choosing Jesus' way. I love you all so much. And remember, Jesus loves you.